Morning participants. Today, the fourth session is being presented by Professor Badiuddin Ahmed, Department of Management and Commerce, Maulana Azad Urdu University, Hyderabad. And I am very happy to read out the profile of sir. Professor Badiuddin Ahmed has his doctoral degree in the Faculty of Commerce and Business Management from Kakatiya University, MBA from Maulana University, and MPhil, MCom and MBA from Kakatiya University, Warangal, Telangana State. Sir has over 27 years of teaching experience in education line as a faculty for graduate and postgraduate courses, teaching MBA, MCom, MFA, and also had the post of head during 2010, 2013, 2015 to 2018. And sir is a Dean, School of Commerce and Business Management. Sir was examiner for various universities in India for PG and PhD courses. Coming to research publications, sir has 85 international publications, 50 national publications, and 12 book articles to his credit. In the research area, sir has so far guided 15 PhDs and 3 PhDs are under pursuing, and 33 MPhils were awarded. And his area of interest
YouTube पे है सारा।
ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा उसमें। हेलो, ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा उसमें। आप टैप करो, ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा। मैं तो नहीं आ रहा ऑडियो। नहीं आ रहा।
स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ।
नहीं, पढ़ रहे हैं मेरा बायोडाटा पढ़ रहे हैं।
इसमें नहीं आ रहा था।
नहीं आ रहा।
इसमें नहीं आ रहा।
शहजाद, मेरे फोन से इस्माइल साहब उनको इमरान को मिला के बोलो ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा। बोलो इमरान का नंबर देखो, ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा। और एक बार
आपको म्यूट कर दो।
यूट्यूब और बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही।
आपको
नहीं आ रहा।
आपको म्यूट करेगा ऊपर।
मेरा ऑन है।
पापा का ऑन है कहते। यूट्यूब पे भी नहीं आ रहा। हेलो, हाँ ठीक है।
ప్రక్రియ ఇప్పుడు దేశమంతా మొదలైపోయింది. అటువంటిప్పుడు కేవలం అత్యవసరాల కోసం మాత్రమే ఇంటి నుంచి బయటకు వెళ్ళాలి. ముఖంపై కవర్ లేదా మాస్క్ వేసుకునేటప్పుడు మీ ముక్కు మరియు ముక్కు పూర్తిగా మూసుకునే విధంగా జాగ్రత్త
जी आया सर। ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा।
ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा, लैपटॉप पे मेरे को नहीं आ रहा, बिल्कुल नहीं आ रहा।
हेलो यूट्यूब पे भी नहीं आ रहा, साउंड नहीं आ रहा बिल्कुल भी।
लिसन मत करो।
नहीं चार्जिंग हो रहा है।
हो रहा
चार्जिंग हो रहा
तो फुल नहीं करा उसको,
चार्जिंग नहीं हो
कहीं को सकने तुम उसको से
आज माइक आकर सुन जल्दी चार्ज नहीं होता मेरा फोन। जिम को लेके गया था और भी लगा दिया
यार क्या जाना था।
Sir, you can start the program, sir. You can start the program, sir.
No, it's why coming now, it's हमारी वॉइस
You can share your PPT and start the program, sir.
ओके राइट। Hello, good morning to all the participants and the organizers of this webinar, FDP. Today's my topic is on sustainable management for successful business during COVID-19. Dear participants, I'll be presenting my whole presentation. The framework is like this. I'll be going from slide 4 to 16, which is dealing with the general management, and slide 17 to 22 dealing with the management theories, and slide 23 to 44 deals with the recent trends in management, and slide 45 to 57 deals with management during COVID-19 crisis. So let us start with the concept, what is management? Though everybody knows management, it seems to be a repetition, but it is obviously needed to know what is concept of management. Management is a unique and distinctive process consisting of actions, planning, organizing, mobilization, and controlling performed to determine the direction and achieve predetermined objectives through the use of human resources and other resources. Here the concept is very clear, managing the affairs of Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You can continue.
Yeah. Okay. Management here, it is a unique and distinctive process. The very concept says that it is a distinctive, it is a unique process having the planning, organizing, and mobilizing, controlling. No, every organization determines the goal in advance, and that goal has to be achieved with the use of both human resources and non-human resources. That's what the concept says. The another concept which is slightly different from the earlier one, management system is a framework of process and procedures. If we see the earlier one, it is slightly different from this one, where there you can see that it's a distinctive process. Here in the next concept says system of framework, processes and procedures used to ensure that organization can fulfill all tasks required to achieve objectives. Of the third concept of management is a social and technical process. Here, something different approach has been followed by the experts, that they say technical and process as well as social process. It means that here also indirectly the human resources also involved indirectly. Societal concept has been introduced in this concept, and technical process both put together and utilizing the other resources which are very much useful, useful to get the objectives fulfilled. Now, let us see some of the definitions of the management, because every authority has their own view about the management. Those were the general concepts, how people generally get the meaning of management. How the experts define the management, they have their own perspectives about the management. Peter Drucker, a renowned management guru or expert, he said the basic task of management includes marketing and innovation. He has made two important functions of any what called functionary areas. innovation, and marketing. So these two put together called it is a management. If you are good at marketing and innovating things, then you will be called your manager. So his way of expressing the management is something different. No, he tried to express the management in terms of innovation and marketing. Now, when we see the Frederick Winslow Taylor, who is called as a father of scientific management, his approach towards management is something different. When you see the definition, management is the art of knowing what you want to do and then seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. He has tried to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. And he also said that what is management tries to do, the best and cheapest way, using the technology, using the techniques that he has used, his strategization, all these, advancements, all these advancements, and scientific way of approaching to attain the objective is the view of the Frederick Winslow Taylor. So that's how if you see the Drucker and here, Drucker is a marketing innovation, and here is a scientific management approach. He is going through scientific management approach. Now, George Ortery is another expert in the management side. Of course, there are thousands of people have given definitions, but what I thought that very significant from the point of view of our what do you call this seminar purpose, I took few definitions to show how people are differ in their perspectives in defining the management. Management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, controlling, utilizing both science, art, and the follow in order to accomplish predetermined objectives. Now here, Peter Drucker has again used our distinct process, and the planning, organizing, actuating, controlling, utilizing, all this he has used all phrases saying these are functions of management. And he said that it is a science and art. He again added one important word, it is science and art. Management is an activity, it is this science as well as an art, and followed in order to accomplish predetermined whatever the objectives determined with the organization in advance, that has to be attained, that has to be fulfilled, obtained by use of planning, organizing, actuating, nothing but motivating and controlling, both utilizing in the scientific manner. That's his version. Now we come to the Peterson and Froman. He had different opinion about defining the management. He said that the process by means of which the purpose and objective of a particular human group are determined, clarified, and effectuated. So here he's confined to human group. He has stressed upon the human resources a lot. Individual and as well as group. When you take the work from them, so you need to concentrate on the people to attain the objective. Unless and until the people are being taken care of, the objective cannot be attained or cannot be achieved. That's how the Peterson and Froman has. So, gentlemen, my dear participants, it's clear that management people have defined in different what call styles, but ultimately, precisely, management is very simple. It is deciding and doing. D and D. Not doing and deciding, it is deciding and doing. So that's how precisely we can conclude that definitions and everything, the concept, the overall gist of this, all four definitions and the concepts, we can call it, the management is an activity which has to be decided in advance and then it is to be done. Then you will be attaining your desired objective. So we will proceed further by going for whether management is a science or not. This big question, people get confused, because generally management, people call it as an art only, not science. But we need to look into this aspect slightly, what actual science is and what art is. So management is science. Can we prove it is science? Yes, we can prove it. How? That management is a science because it has certain, because science, before going to management science, let me define what science is. Science is systematized body of knowledge. Science is systematic body of knowledge, consists of concept, principle, theories, etc. So can we find all this in management science, management discipline? Yes, answer is yes. Management has got its concept, management has got definitions, management has got principles, management has got theories, management has got what the sciences has. But only thing is that those are pure sciences, this is social sciences. But there are resemblance of these few things, and hence we can openly, we can without any hitch, we can call management is as a science. It is a science, yes, it is a science because it has a systematic body of knowledge, and we can consider this management as science. Now come to the arts. Whether can we call it art? Yes, we can call it as art. As other, you can call Bachelor of Arts BA. Like management is also art because art is what art is. Arts means application of knowledge. Whatever knowledge you gain in the science, if that is applied, that becomes an art. So in management, what happens? Whatever the concept, what's the concept of suppose management, concept of leadership, concept of motivation, concept of communication, concept. So there are many concepts are there. If those we learn through theory, if it is applied in practical purpose in your organization, whether it is a household organization, whether it is household or it is an organization, whether it is education organization, whether it is industrial organization, wherever you apply those knowledge, that becomes an art. So manager is an artist, manager is a scientist, manager is a what called profession. As the doctors is a profession, management also. Although I did not mention here, management is also a profession. As the doctors, lawyers, engineers are called profession, management is also a separate profession because it has got professional approach to attain them. It's not in haphazard manner. It's not in something like generalized manner. People called MBAs or big institution offer degrees, PhD like that. When they learn things, they apply things in a technical, in a systematic manner. Then it becomes profession. As doctors, lawyers, and engineers, they learn technical knowledge and they apply in their respective field. Likewise, manager. And we have affiliation to AICTE, which is affiliating authority all over the nation. As a Indian Medical Council, All India Medical Council, you have a Bar Council of India, like you have various organizations. Likewise, we have AICTE apex body, which gives recognition to the management graduate that they are a professional. So it is an art, it is a science, it is a profession. I think I made it clear that management activity is on a science, it is an art. I did not mention in my slide, but it is a profession also. So let us proceed with functions. No, as functions, so if I try to explain planning, organizing, controlling, and other things, you take a human body, you take me and you yourself, dear participants, in human anatomy, brain is act as a planning, eye act as a controlling, and organizing function act as your nervous system, and your leading function as like your lungs, inhaling and exhaling. So planning function is very important function, first and foremost function, like organizing, leading and controlling. This is given by Kuhns and O'Donnell. They are very famous authority in the management sciences. So planning, organizing, leading, as the brain is important for the what you call human being, like planning is important for every aspect because it is said that unplanned things are never done, planned things are ever done. So planning is important and it precedes all the functions of management. So for start, that's what said that if planning for failure, if you are planned to fail, you are planning for failure. So you should not start work without planning. Unplanned things are never done. Planned things are never done. So likewise, organizing means who should do what. I'll be next slides. I'll be discussing slightly each and every function in detail. So these functions work together in the creation, execution, realization of organizational goals. The four functions of management can be considered a process where each function builds on the previous function. So they are interlinked actually. You cannot say I don't need organizing, I don't need leading, I don't need, all are important. When I said controlling act as eyes in human anatomy, how controlling act as eyes, to be very frank, when you are driving, you are riding a vehicle, either motorcycle or four-wheeler, two-wheeler, you apply brakes. Why do you apply brakes? You apply brakes because you see danger, you are organizing because nervous system gives the signals to your brain, states that yes, there is danger in front of you. You apply brake, you immediately your hand goes towards clutch, you go for pressing clutch and again going for the brake. And you release the clutch and you release the brake and restart. That is planning. Again, you see how beautiful nature system they're planning and controlling their parallel functions that starts that. Once you stop yourself, once you stop yourself, you want to stop on stand still. You will be again restart. The moment danger goes, when your eye sees that there is no danger, you will restart. That's what planning. So how beautiful the nature given eyes can be compared with the controlling function. It's not for completely, forever you will not stop. When you apply brake means apply brake for passing the danger from your side. And when the danger passes, you again restart. And leading function, it's again consists of 3 sub-functions like communication. You have a leading, you have a motivating, you have a what you call communication. These are 3 important functions of leading. All these are to be needed to make your objectives fulfilled, because without this you cannot proceed, whether it is a household or it is an industrial organization. Now this picture shows this functions of management: planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, which is itself self-explanatory. I'm not going into detail. I'll go these questions. This is a function and this is a resultant. One question: what is the need of planning? What planning does? Planning does, it decides the objectives, decides the policies, the procedures and methods of an organization. What objectives, what for it is, what, why, when, all these are nothing but it is planning. So come to organizing, it explains the question: where should action take place and who should do what work? That is nothing but division of work. To whom should we give the work? What kind of work can be given to whom? All this will be decided in the organizing function. It's like a nervous system in the human body. You see, blood goes upward also, blood goes downward also. But the God has made such a beautiful arrangement of this system that every part of the body gets blood as per its requirement, neither more nor less. Likewise, organizing function also act in an organization, that who should do what, where should things, everything has got its own place, like a division of work. Everybody is not specialized in every area. So according to the specialization, you will be dividing the work, because it gives the efficiency, it gives the effectiveness and utilization, who is boss and who is subordinate. So all this be very clearly done in the organizing function. Now come to third, actuating. There's another important called motivating function also, which is consists of leadership, communication, development, and also motivation, everything. So actually, why and how should group members perform their task? See, human beings are wanting animals. Their wants are never ending and ever changing. What is in marketing? It said that. So they have their needs, their minimum wants, basic bare needs have to fulfill. So in this connection, what we need to do, how people can be made to work. It is the capacity of the leader who influence the work of the subordinates. No, I being a professor, I being a teacher, I cannot dictate the students of mine, class of mine. I am, of course, I am a human being, they are also human being. Dealing with human beings is very crucial. You need to be very careful, handle with care of people. So leader should, of course, there are different topics, leadership is a big topic, but for present context, leader must be such that he should make the people feel that, yes, he is one among them. And that function is actually that he tries to give the impression that he is not the boss, but he is a boss, but he gets the work from them by influencing. He is becoming a role model for subordinates. Communication. See, being a manager, being a professor, being a teacher, we cannot speak a language which is not understandable by your students. In a management also, as a manager, he cannot be hi-fi style with their labor, with their subordinates. They may not understand this language, so he should get down. That is what he should get down to the level of the people and try to speak to the language which they understand. And incentives, see, incentive, unless and until, because I said human beings are wanting animals, their wants are never ending and never changing. So incentives can be financial, incentives can be non-financial. So if you appreciate somebody's work, sort of incentive, he feels happy more than the money. Yeah, my boss has appreciated me today. He said, oh, what you have done. That's way you can really make a sense of it actually. So coming to the controlling, that is actions being performed according to plan. So here, your standards you fix and actual performance you measure in the controlling. If you find any deviation, you'll try to compare the actuals with the standards you fixed it. If you find deviation, you're not going to punish immediately to the subordinates. Subordinates cannot be held responsible every time. That's the reason we need to go for checking the variation. Checks and balance who is responsible, where the mistake has occurred in the planning stage, there is somewhere where it had who is responsible, where the man is responsible. So it's not something like controlling means taking your sort of hunter in your hand and like a ringmaster. No, it's not. It's not that. Controlling is something checking the variations, checking the deviations, and taking corrective actions not to recover mistakes in the organization, because recurring of mistakes cause loss to the organization. And that's the essence of management. How it's important, even at home also, how the housewife does, how your mother does, how our mother does, how our father takes care of in the limited budget. The whole things managed. So he is not a CA father. Most of the people are working as a clerical job or some teacher job. They are not CAs, but they are maintaining accounts. In the limited income, they are maintaining thoroughly. How? By using the controlling function knowingly or unknowingly. So that's about human anatomy. Human beings are planning is a brain, organizing is a nervous system, activate is like spread inhaling and exhaling, then controlling act as the eyes are controlling of the all activities. So dear participants, I think I made it very clear how the functions of the management works in every organization. Now let us discuss what type of levels of management. In general, or is a standard says that there are 3 levels of management exist in any organization. That is lower level management, you have middle level management, and you have top management. Lower level management called supervisory, middle level management called executive, and top level management called administrative level. And each level has got its own function. Each level has got to perform their own function. What lower level does? The lower level management is supervisory or the operative level of where the actual work gets performed. You need to, again, I repeat once again, the lower level or shop floor level, their duty is to do what the execution people, that is middle level management, give the instruction. The middle level people take the instruction from the top level, and these people are trying to implement it at the operational level where the operation takes place. And they also oversee the direct operative employees. They spend most of their time in addressing the functions of the firm as instructed by the managers above them. That's what I told you. Whatever their bosses, the middle level management issues instructions, they will be implementing it, and then they will be trying to get the instructions be implemented. Now, what middle level management does? Middle level management, which is referred to as executive level, they are subordinates of the top management. They are responsible for the organization and direction of the low level management. They are also communicators between the top level and lower level as they transfer information, reports, and other data of the enterprise to top level management. So their duty is to as a liaison between the middle level management people, liaising between the lower level and top level. So they are executing the policies, programs, and they are trying to implement, because top level management, as you know, one principle management by exception, because top management all the time never come into the picture because they need to think of their exceptional matters which are most important to the organizational development, and most of the work has been transferred to the middle management. They will be getting all done through lower level management. So what is that they are called? Top level management duty is to administrative level. They are just administrator, and this level they coordinate service and are keen on planning. They are brains of any organization. Their duty is to plan in advance. They think in advance as to how, where, why, what. All W's, they 24/7. They are involved in that. So they never interfere in the work of the middle level and the lower level. So this right now, the top level people are confined to only planning purpose, about the expansion, diversification, all important aspects of the organization. They are top management, we call board of directors, chief executive officer. These are the few examples, and the chief financial officers and chief operating officer or president or vice president. They don't involve in the other areas. They just think they do R&D, research. They do in research and development so that they can be what we call leader in the market. Leader in the market. How can you be leader until you do research and what the outcome of the research, whether they are better than the competitors. So this is what the management, top management will achieve. So these three levels, suppose you got clear idea about. Of course, you might have studied at your levels, but still, it's my duty to explain, because without this, there will be no management. This is pyramid. I have tried to take a picture from the source, and pyramid of management levels. Top management is executive, coaching, change management, leadership, delegation, and empowerment. Middle management does problem solving, team building, talent development, performance management. And low level management does emotional intelligence, coaching for performance. So this is this picture gives you very clear idea about the top different levels of management. I hope the organizers will give you the this presentation after this over. Let us come to the theories of management theories. In different era, different theories have been evolved. Classical management school thought, neoclassical management school thought, modern management school thought. So every school has got era, every school has got its own what you call pros and cons. So let us discuss about what classical management theory explains. Classical management theory is based on the belief that workers only have physical and economic needs. Dear participants, underlining point here is physical and emotional needs. See, the 2 points in this classical theory are very narrowing this theory. Physically and economically, 2 things have been discussed, nothing else. And that's what one theory's limitation gives way to emerging of new theory. So it does not take into account social needs or job satisfaction. Nothing has been discussed in the classical theory. It just says that people want physically, people want economic needs because they need money, they work. That's all. Very narrowly different. So it does not take into account the social needs. Yes, you all will want social grooming, social relationship, all the that is not considered by this social classical theorist and satisfaction, but instead advocates specialization of labor, centralized leadership. They want that my command, my order must be obeyed. That's all. Commanding, centralized leadership. Order flows from only one place and should be followed by all. That is in this present modern recent trends, it is not getting succeeded. People are now shifting towards decentralization of leadership. You need to divide the authority of yours and give them full liberty, then only your results get succeeded. Otherwise, and decision making and profit. See, again, the minor aspect of they just want to make profits out of the efforts made by the blue collar people, specialized labor. So here, one is people why they work for their own needs, that is economic needs, there is sustenance needs and physical needs. And the theory is limitation what it says that it doesn't take care into account about the social needs or job satisfaction. Whether the employee is feeling comfortable or not, they don't bother. And they want that hook and crook, they want to get the work from their subordinates. This is what leading to the emerging of new theory called new classical management theory. So this theory has slightly different in its approach. The neoclassical theory was an attempt at incorporating the behavioral sciences into management, though in order to solve the problems caused by classical theory practices. As I earlier mentioned, that classical theory has got some narrow explaining about the aspects of a human being. Here, they change their version, they change their style. Here, behavioral sciences, they brought that, yes, human being has its own individually, they behave differently when they are in group. So we need to check their behavior, whether they're feeling, what you call fatigue, whether they are feeling happy. No, they're all, behavior of the human being can be by observation. you can understand how an individual is feeling in the organization, whether he's comfortable or discomfortable in an organization. That is what the neoclassical management theorist has tried to understand. And the premise of this inclusion was based on the idea that the role of management is to use employees to get things done in organization. So the basic fundamental is that inclusion based on the idea that the role of management is to use employees to get the things done in an organization. Again, here also the what you call safety measures, security aspects have been not covered. Only thing that behavioral aspect they brought into this new classical approach. Now, this again led to the development of or emergence of modern management theory. What modern management theory's focus is that development of each factor of workers. That is again the underlying factor here is that each factor of workers and organization, individual and organization, both have been considered by the modern management theories. It refers to emphasizing the use of systematic mathematical techniques in the system with analyzing and understanding the interrelationship of management and workers in all aspects. They try to make it a very scientific approach, by using mathematical operation research techniques like queuing theories, and then you have a CPM, PERT, all these things, they use and they try to find out, yes, how best the system can operate and how best the workers can make to work in a scientific manner. And this modern management theory has got this advantage that they will be going neither by emotions nor by something else, but they are taking into account the welfare of the workers and development of the organization, not isolation, but by a technical mathematical technique. We have a good number of techniques for deriving what you call in OR. If you have a subject OR, when you study then OR, you get different decision making, how we can draw the good decisions by using the mathematical technique. And let us discuss the very important aspect, universally accepted principles of Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol is a very renowned German engineer, worked for in the US for some mining company. He rose to MD position. When he was retiring from the company was on the verge of collapse. That forced him to probe. He was such a typical personality. Even after retirement of the company was crumbling like anything. Then it made him to study what was wrong with the company. Why, as long as I was there was nothing wrong. Now the moment I came out, the company is now start crumble and coming towards downfall. So his he worked quite a long time. Then he came to a conclusion that there was no principle followed in the organization, thereby the organization got closed, mining company. Now it's true also in our life also, a life without principles is like a ship without a sailor. It's a very obvious thing that you are managing companies, you are managing your household affairs. If you are managing yourself also, try to manage yourself and having no principle of life. Do you get your objective fulfilled? No. Answer is always no. So you can apply these 14 principles to yourself as an individual. You can apply it to household. You can apply it to education, any organization. You take any organization, it works very well. So let us see what are those. I think many of all have studied in our graduation, post-graduation level. Those come from the particular management or commerce stream. They can know. Anyhow, I'll try to just list out and try to explain a few principles, how they work actually. If you don't follow, what are the consequences? Just go back. Now, these are the principles of management, 14 principles of Henry Fayol, very renowned, and that's the reason Henry Fayol is called as father of principles of management. Today also, these principles are highly respected and being followed sincerely. The division of work, he was of the opinion that when the company was going collapse, he observed after thorough study that there was no division of work. One person was handling the marketing function also, production function also. So no, unless 5 doctors are there, you have a psychologist, you have cardiologist, you have ophthalmologist, you have orthopedic. Why this super specialty? Everybody cannot do all work. So in this connection, what the feeling of the Henry Fayal was that the company in which he was working was not up to the mark. It was not doing the work as per the specialization. For every organization, I'm talking about industrial organization, has got broad 4 areas, that is starting with your production, your marketing, your finance, and HR. These 4 specialized areas required 4 specialized people, at least 4 specialized people to head each department. And that was lacking. So what he suggested that to make your efficient and effective functioning of an organization, you need to have the division of work. It's also called principle of specialization also. So work can be divided on the basis of specialization one process. Our second principle is authority and responsibility. Who is boss and who is subordinate? If it is not clearly mentioned, and who should report to whom, that's again big problem. Yeah. And what he said that make clarity in the authority and responsibility. Who is boss, who is subordinate, who should report to whom, and who is should do what. This is called authority and responsibility. It's also obvious that unless you have this clarity, you cannot really draw this meaningful conclusion. Now coming to discipline, and this is an important aspect of our life even also. The discipline is nothing but following the norms, following the system, following the regulations. If you violate, if you indiscipline, then you will be meeting with an accident. Now, when you're riding a vehicle, it means you have to ride, you have to drive, you do take drive, but there is a speed limit, 60, 70, after a time, you find the yellow, you find the red, you find green, then yellow, then red. Why this? If you are crossing this yellow limit, when you on the red, you may be indisciplined. So it's better come to the discipline so that you can reach your destination very safely. So that's how discipline. Likewise, in organization, you have set of norms, set of regulations, set of rules, which has to be followed scrupulously. There's nothing as such, no, I don't want to follow. It means you are not doing favor for the organization, rather you are spoiling the organization. Unity of command says that one boss or all subordinates should report to one boss. So we have one supreme commander. Unfortunately, this time we have 2 supreme commanders. Then BP Rawat is also there. And then another. So earlier, only President of India is called supreme commander of all 3 forces. In an organization, the subordinate should have to report only one boss at one time. When you have 2 bosses, you will be in utter chaos. To whom should you report after you complete the work? That's what unity of command gets violated. Then he will not report to either of them, and work gets stopped. So that should not happen. This is what Henry Fayal says, that unity of command was missing in the organization. That's why it's called. So to make organization successful functioning, you have to follow the unity of command principle. Then coming to unity of direction, yes, direction. Your all efforts should be directed, focused on one goal, one head, one goal. So if you have 2 goals and you are proceeding for attaining 2 goals at a time, you never attain 2 goals at a time in your life. People saying that you should be a multitasking. No, I am not believer of multitasking. Of course, you should have the knowledge. When you are, prompting for multitasking, then you will be in danger definitely. So make your direction clear. One head, one goal. You should make one goal. You put your energies to achieve those goals, you will definitely succeed in your life, succeed in your whatever desired goal. Now, the next principle is subordination. That's what I made it very simple. Actually, subordination of individual interest to general interest. It means you never be a selfish person. If you are working for an organization is first, then your interest is second. The interest here means that interest of the individual should be subordinate to the organization interest. If organization develops, you develop. If organization collapses, then you will have no place in the organization. Why in this era, I see people are just bend and build. Those of that kind of people, they cannot survive for a long time because they do not contribute towards the development of the organization. When you are working for an organization, do not bring your personal interest for the interest of the organization. So that's what subordination. Our interest should be subordinate to the organization interest. That's what. No remuneration, of course, what you said that when you take the work from your people, pay them remuneration promptly. It's very generally happen that salaries, wages are not being paid promptly by the most of the organization. What happened is this developed discontentment among the people, among the workers, among the employees. And at a point of time, what happens? One by one, they leave the organization. There will be labor turnover, absenteeism increases, and organization collapse. So see, these are the few principles. Now coming to the centralization. Of course, this was the old principle. Now this has been replaced by decentralization. Centralization was good in few small organizations. If the size of the organization is small, then you can have centralization. But decentralization is always authority should be down percolated down to in the organization. Scholar chair, no, you should not have the lot of complexity in the communication between the subordinates and the or managers of various levels. And all managers are same. No, somebody is because of technical background, he may be at lower level. Somebody of some other background, he may be at mid level. But it does not mean that one should not talk to me. You guys should come through proper channel. No other. So it breaks. Communication can be from top to bottom, bottom to top, middle to bottom. So anyway, that he made flexibility in that's what scholar chair. Flexibility should be followed. And principle of order is also a very important principle of order is that everything should have its place and a place for everything. If order is missing, then there's utter chaos. There's all disorderliness will be there. So there should be a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. That's called principle of order. If that is missing, then you will have to be in confusion state of affairs, and you cannot get right things in the right time. And thereby, what happened? You will not be able to attain your objective. Now, coming to principle of equity. Equity means one. You need to be very, very careful that you cannot be biased. You have to be justifiable with all the people. You should have the the tendency of dealing with all. Equity. Principle of equity says that all should be treated equally. There cannot be any bias. There cannot be any favoritism. There cannot be any nepotism. There cannot be any. He is my relative. He is my cousin. That type of work. When in the work environment, all should be treated equally. All should be given equal treatment. Then people will develop the belongingness towards manager, towards the organization. Yeah, that was missing in that. The stability of tenure of personnel. This is another principle which says that you cannot hire people and fire people. This will bring down the organizational development. This will really big disaster for the management. It happening now in the present day. This principle is now highly violated. Stability means that the tenure term of the people's employment should be at least for a longer period, because people coming and people going out of the organization frequently, but it is not adding to something benefit of the organization. It's a loss, because when you hire people, you train them, you apply, you take work from them, and after a certain period, you are removing them. Means again you take new person into organization. He has to work, he has to get training. Again, the cost factor becoming increasing in your organization. So this should be avoided. So you need to keep the stable policy of people in an organization for a specific period, 5 years, 10 years, longer term. That will, in the interest of the organization, will definitely grow if the people are, because what I said that business is people. Business is people. It is my personal perception, and one of the authorities says business because is of the people, for the people, and by the people. What Abraham Lincoln says democracy, like the business is also of the people, for the people, and by the people. If you ignore people, then there is no business, there is nothing. So stability of tenure of person is very, very important principle given by Henry Fayard. Now coming to initiative, yes, initiative is taking what call go ahead and do it. That type of tendency should be there in the manager. There are some smart workers. They should not be demotivated if they come forward to do something. You just appreciate them and encourage them, give them pat. Yes, good, very good. You do it. I'll be with you. So principle of initiative says that allow the people to take initiative, to take the work on their own. Even small petty mistakes are confidence, and they will perform a big task also in the future. So that the tendency of the human being that I am not taking exception for me also. Sometimes happens that if I give that liberty, my science may be little down. No, it's wrong. Perception, it's all because of the thinking only. Initiative principle really bring big, wonders actually. C.K. Prahad, a big, Indian management expert, whose student Gary Hamel, and he confessed that I gave a lot of free hand to my scholar, my student, and he did a lot of wonder, lot of work, and because of him, I am getting more name in the world, and that's what I take his example personally, and I also take pride in calling my scholars, my students, that I gave them initiative power, and they helped me in many occasions, and really it's a really a great encouragement for me and for them also, and they are doing good. They are settled in their life also, and whenever I call them, so I request all my dear participants who are in the field of teaching or the field of management, so they do give their sort of liberty to take initiative on their own. If they in their life, they can bring good to the organization. Now, class principle, spirit class, this is the word, German word, spirit class is unionist. He says that there should be a cordial relationship between or among the various groups in the organization. Means worker to worker, workers to employees, employee to employee to management. So what are the possible permutation combination of groups are there in that? All should have a congenial and cordial relationship. The more good human relationship is the essence of success of any organization. So it is to be effort of the management of any organization to develop the good human relationship irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion. So if you practice that, definitely you will succeed in your objective. There's nothing as such. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. Impossible is nothing. Only thing is that how we proceed, how we are doing things makes big difference. So I think I have made very detailed explanation of the health principles, which can be applied to your household management, to your industrial management, everywhere. In your individual also this principle applies actually. Now we'll come to the main topic of those which you earlier discussed, also very important. But this is a topic which I see recent trends in management. What are trends in management? Recent trends in management refers to the latest managerial practices that manager uses to effectively manage their employees. See, this is important that managers use to effectively manage their employees. As the market situation evolves, the managerial trends to evolve, change. These changes are subject to market conditions or the time period. The most popular recent trends in management are TQM, that is total quality management, risk management, and crisis management. Let us discuss each one. In total quality management, crisis management, change through management hierarchy, global practices, international business, risk management, resistance to change, concept of change management, Six Sigma, time management, retail management. So these are the areas we need to slightly touch upon to understand how the recent trends in the management. A system of management based on the principle that every member of staff must be committed to maintain high standards of work in every aspect of company's operation is total quality management. Now, in the present context, or you can say the trend has changed. The conventional type of work, conventional type of technology, conventional type of attitude is no more acceptable. You need to have the qualitative behavior, qualitative work. You need to follow standard norms at work environment. Then only you will having the acceptability in the market, in the world. Otherwise, you will be kept aside or you will not be taken into consideration. TQM describes management approach to long-term success through customer satisfaction. See, this is a very important aspect. It describes management approach to long-term success through customer. See, customers are king or queen. The business is survive if this is a market. If there is no market, the market consists of whom? Market consists of we, the customer, the people. If people are not satisfied, then to whom for you are there in the market. So that's what TQM says, that long-term success through customer satisfaction. The moment any single customer gets dissatisfied, then that is starting point for your collapse, your disaster. So try your best not to indulge in any such activity which brings dissatisfaction to the customer. So, dear participants, total quality management, not only in business, but even in teaching also. In teaching also, we need to develop ourselves, we need to develop our knowledge, we need to update ourselves. If you do not update, you will become outdated. So my suggestion is, humble suggestion is that we need to continuously update ourselves before we get outdated. In a QQM effort, all members of an organization participate in improving process, products, services, and culture in which they will see. Here, cultural aspect also being covered. What culture we live in. We are not Americans, we are not Germans, we are not Western culture people. We are in India because now this webinar is being held in India. And we know what culture we are in, and we need to respect the culture. Accordingly, we need to behave, we need to function. Otherwise, people throw you out of the market. And you cannot blame the people that I was not demanded, I was not having demand. It is not their fault, it is your fault because you have overlooked the culture in which you are. So cultural cultural aspect cannot be undermined at any point of time. Now, there are 8 principles of total quality management. And because I'm running out of time, I'll go very fast. Customer focus, leadership, involvement of people, process approach, systems approach to management, continuous improvement, factual approach. I'll take a few of them. See, customer focus, what is rightly said, the TQM concept, the leadership, yes, your leadership should be such that it should be very impressive. It should be democratic type of leadership. It should be, participate type of leadership. You should take your people into confidence. Then involved people, it is nothing but your participation of people are decision making, and you have continuous improvement. See, this is a continuous activity. You cannot discontinue. You cannot say you cannot be satisfied. Yes, I have done this. People will come and purchase things from me. No, you need to improve your processes, your technology. It's a R&D. You can call R&D, not DNR. Research and development. Research and development is a continuous activity because human beings are wanting animals. I again repeating, human beings are wanting animals. Their wants are never ending, ever changing. To meet that ever changing and never ending, you need to have continuous improvement in your processes. And mutual beneficial supplier relationship. Supplier, if you do not maintain good relationship, then you will be out of the market. So we need to maintain good relationship with your supplier so that supply should be continuously proactive. Now coming to a new concept, crisis management. It is a process by which business and other organizations deals with sudden emergency situation. Now, if you do not have this crisis management with you, how to deal with something, if power goes, what to do in organization, if something happens, breakdown happens, what to do. So these are some emergent situations comes generally in the organization. So crisis management, identification of threats to an organization and stakeholders and methods used by the organization to deal with this. So suddenly demand goes down in the market. So you cannot say when the stakeholders in the sense of your shareholders are there, your revenue holders are there, they want their interest to be paid promptly. Shareholders would demand the dividends. Then you say, we don't have the, so we got lost. You need to have the provision to have some issue of bonus shares to the your shareholders. If you pay debentures, convertible debentures into shareholders. So these some sort of crisis management techniques you should follow. Otherwise, what happens now? You will be simply discarded by the stakeholders. Due to the unpredictability of global events, organizations must be able to cope with the potential for drastic changes in the way conduct business. What are the 4 P's to the crisis? It is readiness, response, reassurance, and recovery. This is given by Fathy. These phases of crisis communication, that you must be readily available, you must have the readiness for meeting the crisis, you must have responsiveness, you have to have reassurance to the stakeholders, and you must recover from the crisis. You cannot cry as I am in the crisis, I cannot. No, you have to get rid of, you have to come out from that crisis, and that kind of preparedness you should have in your mind. Now coming to change through management hierarchy. It is usually top level management hierarchy that makes most important changes in any organization. The lower level only implements these changes. Such a hierarchy often misses out small and minute details of planning. Although all managers perform the same functions of planning, organizing, leading, controlling, there are hierarchies among them. Top management is the ultimate source of the authority. Now, global practices or international business. A global business is a company that operates facilities such as factories and distribution centers in many countries around the world. This is different from an international business which sells products worldwide but has facilities only in its home country. Successful expansion into new foreign markets demands that companies adopt international business strategies that fit into their needs and capabilities. So when we entering into globe, you have to be very careful. When you're expanding into new foreign markets, you need to thoroughly scan the environment and you have to enter into so that you may be accepted. Your strategies, your policies, your long-term policies or strategies such that which fit into the foreign markets, not to your convenience, but to the situation. Now, the new concept, the new development in risk management is now being heard very quite often. Now, this has become buzzword, risk management. And there are, it's part of the financial management, there is some operations management, this is part of the, healthcare management. So risk management refers to the practice of identifying potential risks in advance, analyzing them and taking precautionary steps to reduce or curb the risk. See, risk management was not very popular till last decade. Now it has become more popular because people are knowing that there are some sort of problem. There are some potential risks may come in advance, and you need to understand what risk can be expected. There is a slightly different risk and loss. This is a risk is not something; it's a probable loss. What probability of getting the losses and how? That's why people take LIC policy, life insurance policy. See, when an agent comes to your home, he never says that if you die, he uses the word, if something happens to your life, your family gets benefit. What happens? He never said directly, if you say, sir, if you die, you will go, sir. If you say like that, he will be failing his marketing efforts. So what he says, sir, if something happens to your life, your family gets benefit. So that's what potential risk means. Probability risk is that, yes, we have to die, but in advance, if you take a policy, you may be able to able to help your family. Analyzing them and taking precaution means what that you are taking the LIC policy, and part of the risk can be curbed or can be reduced. Even if I die, my family gets something for their safeguard, for their livelihood. The risk management is identification, evaluation, prioritization of risk, followed by coordinated and economic application of resources to minimize, monitor, control the probability of impact of unfortunate event or to maximize the realization of what I said, the LIC example, same thing is there in the second paragraph that yes, the risk management is identification. You need to find out when you are driving, earlier in the LML Vespa, was giving a beep sound when you cross at the speed of 60 km/h. It means it is giving you a caution. You must prioritize that immediately you must come down to the speed, and you should see that you are all the clutch, brake, everything should be in your control, because if you are uncontrollable, if you are absent mind, then you will meet the accident. To avoid that probable loss of life, you will have to take care before you will meet with an accident. So what steps you have to follow in the risk management? Step one, identify the risk. Identify the risk. Analyze the risk. Evaluate or rank the risk. Treat the risk. Monitor, review the risk. So these are the few steps to be followed. What is the risk which may likely to come, and what kind of risk we are analyzing it thoroughly, then examining or rank the risk. Can we take it as a priority, or can we actually postpone one? Then treat the risk with how intensity of the risk is. Then monitor and review the risk. See, monitoring and reviewing it. Monitoring and reviewing it is also an important aspect. If you do not monitor and do not review constantly, then suddenly you will be having big risk. So in monitoring, you will develop the mechanism to manage with the risk actually. Then now coming to the another new concept or new trend is that resistance to change. It is the act of opposing or struggling with the modifications or transformations that alter the status quo. This is resistance can manifest itself in one employee or workplace. See, it's a general tendency when you say something first time, the answer comes no. So for this it's called resistance. Anything new thing you tell your people at your home also. At your home also to your kids, you ask to do something. Oh no, dad, no papa, nothing sir, no sir, I cannot do sir. That answer you get. That is a very typical nature of human being. And what we need to do, we need to develop certain strategies, certain what you call or style of functioning in the workplace that employees should accept the change. They should not resist the change. But there are certain causes of resisting change, including lack of communication about change. Employees have prior negative experiences with the past change, lack of organization of the change process. See, unless you communicate with your people, unless you have communication about change, how when the computerization in the banking was being implemented, the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, when he brought in computerization, a lot of human cry, no, this will bring down the, what you call employment, all these things. But this has become part and parcel of everybody's life. Even a small shopkeeper, even a small worker, street vendors also keeping their iPhones with them. So that's how smartphones are. So this is, what do you think that employees have career negative experiences with the past change? Will they experience any change? That negative thoughts should be removed by your convincing style. Yes, how does this, maybe there are shortcomings. Those shortcomings have been overcome. Now, if you change yourself by using this, you will get a lot of advantage. That's how you need to convince the people. The lack of organization of change process. See, organizations sometimes they have the tendency to bring in change in the processes. Again, they have to be discussed in detail and see that, and that should be brought into the organization to make organization more actively, use change and see that the desired results can be attained. In order to create change within an organization, without resistance is impossible from all employees. So is bound to be there, resistance bound to be there. You cannot deny, no, there will be a resistance and you need to overcome that. The three types of resistance, that is game change, the event that change public opinion and recruit new people. The events that change public opinion and recruit new, that's called game change. But people with that knowledge, if you take them into your organization, then your organization will run and the old people will now start trying to learn those things. How to learn? This is the resistance. Even that change public opinion, when you recruit new people say that what happened? We were being not taken, new people are recruited because new people, this is how resistance comes from them. Then outside game, this protest have chiefly symbolic value. Others yield practical outcomes. Outside game, protest can be effectively in various spheres of, but targeting resistance makers in the most critical. Inside game, the resistance requires using the established system of elections, legal system, and current bureaucracy. Now coming to change, concept of change management. Change management is the process, tools, and techniques to manage the people side of change to achieve the required business outcome. Change management incorporates the organizational tools that can be utilized to help individuals make successful personal transitions, resulting in the adoption of realization of change. Yes, change management is required to bring in change in organizational success, and without which you will not be surviving for a long time. Now, tools for components of change management: readiness assessment, communication and communicating planning, sponsor activities and sponsor roadmaps, coaching and manager training for change management, training and employee training development, resistance management. All these are tools which is to be implemented for bringing in change, and thereby people get change. Unless you have some mechanism, because after all they are human beings, they will definitely change. Only thing they get convinced. Now coming to Six Sigma, it is a set of management techniques intended to improve business processes by greatly reducing the probability that an error or defect will occur. This is again very popular technique, Six Sigma management technique. Six Sigma is disciplined, statistical based, data driven approach and continuous improvement methodology for eliminating defects in the product, process, or service. But in the earlier months, I said that when modern theories of management, this is here applied that Six Sigma technique is being used by using the mathematical statistical technique and data driven technique, and for what? Ultimately for eliminating defects or in the product, process, or service. Principles of Six Sigma: always focus on the customer. Again, customer focus important in the new modern approach. Modern theorists say that customer is very important aspect of your business. They cannot be determined. Understand how work really happens. Make your process flow smoothly. Reduce waste and concentrate on value. Stop defects through removing variation. Get in from the team through collaboration. So these are the very important principles of Six Sigma. And if you follow this, definitely there will be least mistakes, least variations, and least defect, and more value you will be getting. And 5 years of Sigma: sorting, straighten, shine, standardize, and sustain. If this is, you remember, dear participant, the Six Sigma: sorting, straightening, shining, standardizing, and sustaining. This is what is called 5 years of Sigma. This is modern trend in the management. Now, time management. This is very important aspect. Time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. See, God has given 24 hours to all the people. Somebody has become astronaut. Somebody has become, so Microsoft chairman. Somebody has become. Why can't I become? That's the question mark. It is not time management. It is managing myself, managing yourself. If you are self-managing well, then nothing is difficult to attain. And being busy is not the same as being effective. See, people say, I'm busy, but it's not effective because in what you are busy, you may be in fruitless and with a business without being any meaning at all. Or being busy is not the same as being effective. You must be effective in utilizing your time. So the elements of time management: have a clear vision. If I ask you, what are you doing? No, I have still not planned. If you see in Hyderabad, you ask many youngsters, be engineering graduate, everybody says, I am hunting job. Because they do not have clear vision. Hunting job is not a clear vision. You have to have one goal. What principal management says, you need to have direction. No direction in their life. What happened is what they are only roaming. Hunting and roaming is their job. Know your priorities. Without doing which is first, which is second, no. Last priority come first priority comes down. So this is spoiling their life. Their age going down. Every day is passing, they are losing one day from their life. Focus on value. Lose or lost the urgency. Stop struggling. Purge the best. Schedule your escape. So these are few elements of your time management. 3 methods of time management. It's called prioritize and plan. Unless and until you prioritize and you plan, I told in the beginning, planned things are ever done, unplanned things are never done. If the students are there in the participants, kindly plan your studies and prioritize. Then you will be getting your desired result. What happens? Those who are managers, teachers, before going to class, we need to plan. That's what earlier we used to have lesson plans. Entire for one semester, we need to submit a lesson plan, and in which which class, where, how much to be covered, everything is to be and prioritized. Sometimes instead of first unit, you will go for second unit because there may be something which is related to the first unit. So that's why prioritizing and planning is such an important thing that it's not simple enough, but planning and prioritizing are two things the students rarely do. Create study goals, create plan to deal with the distractions. No, we always involve, we are allowed to distract us, then allowed to constructive things. So try to learn and plan how to really overcome these distractions from your life. Now, again, new area has been emerged: retail management in the recent development of management. Retail management process which helps the customers to procure the desired merchandise from their retail stores for their personal life. Retail management saves time, ensures customers easily locate their desired merchandise and return home satisfied. Necessary labels must be put on the shelves for the customers to locate the merchandise on their own. In this case, I took example of your Ratnadeep, your Reliance Mart, you have Spencer, many such supermarkets have come which they are doing retail management excellently. Management. Now I'll come to the current scenario. management during COVID-19. So nobody has expected this COVID-19 in India. Initially, the government of India the minister himself that we need not panic. The secretary said that we are having enough things, we can manage things. Now the situation is so grave that we are now thinking what to do. In Bihar, yesterday from today they are locked down, and here also in Telangana they are planning to go for the lockdown. So why? Because the management is such a poor that those who are political managers, their vision is such a poor that they could not plan in advance. And the COVID-19 pandemic is changing the way we live, work, and use technology, and the world adjusts to its new normal. Now, this situation has been gone from normal to we move to new normal. This present era is called new normal. Earlier, we were in normal conditions. Now, whatever we are doing, we are in new normal conditions. Business leaders need to rethink strategies to drive resilience and emerge from this crisis stronger. Every country, including the superpowers, also now struggling hard to come over from this crisis, because so far no vaccine, no drug has been, introduced or came into the market so far. Everybody is struggling hard. Lots of deaths are occurring, and almost 1.5 crores cases have been recorded all over the world. So this is called how we need to do. The only logical course of action is focus attention on what is in our control. I am underlining this point. What is in our control, we should do. What is not in our control, we should take some precautions. Then only we are able to manage from COVID-19. Now, the next, resetting business plans, including growth, earnings, and spend assumptions. Deep focus on customer retention, including quality of products or services and value orientation. Preserving capital, ensuring spend is only an important item. See, many people are saying that even if you are purchasing a 1 rupee item for 90 paisa, please keep aside 10 paisa for any unforeseen event, emergency, contingency. Ensuring positive cash flows, which might involve trading off margin for credit. Maintaining healthy balance sheet. Now, managing measures in COVID-19, manage what you can control. You cannot control what is not manageable. So what said the managing measures, manage what you can control, transition to a new way of working, looking for a net new business opportunities. What opportunities there in the new normal condition? Is there any opportunities available in this condition? That is, you need to look out. Then COVID-19 crisis management readiness, a coronavirus suffering workplace and around the world. Employers need to adjust to this new situation and develop a strategy to prevent damages of coronavirus can bring. When we say damages, we mean both the safety, security, and the productivity of our entire workforce. See, people are important, and processes are important, everything is important. And what we need to do that, how best we can control them, all these elements or all these functions, all these areas in this pandemic period. The importance of crisis management crisis management is the process by which an organization deals with disruptive, unexpected event that threatens to harm an organization or stakeholder. See, this is a crisis. We are passing through a crisis, and this is to be managed. And how process by which can organization deals with disruptive and unexpected event that threatens to harm the organization or stakeholders. Failure to handle crisis properly can result in serious harm to stakeholders, losses for an organization, or even end in its very existence. What a crisis? Crisis defines a significant threat to operations that can have negative consequences if it's not handled properly. Again, I'm repeating here, negative consequences if it's not handled properly. So handle with properly, handle with care is important. Slogan, important funda, or important to you need to principle you need to keep in your mind. In most cases, crisis can create three related threats: public safety, financial loss, and reputation loss. You need to take care of these three. If these three are one of these three gets affected, it means you will be in crumbling, you will be in trouble. Now, issues to be managed during COVID: job security, personal health, children and homeschooling, personal finances, remote working. No, these are the issues which we have to be carefully handled because this pandemic, this virus, coronavirus is very, very minute but creating big havoc in the world. We need to take care in all aspects, stress and mental health. Because of the lockdown, many of us are not able to manage ourselves. I was told by one of my friends who is doctor, who is a psychiatrist in Hyderabad. There are a number of cases that have been recorded between the age group of 15 to 25. They are under tremendous pressure. They are getting disturbed with their mental health. And in one of the image hospitals in Hyderabad, it is said that you have a lot of patients coming between 6 years to 16 years because of these online courses. Online courses, schools are being conducting online classes and cause stress to the kids, children, and mental health also they're affecting. So this is a new problem started created because of the more precautionary measure. They're trying to do something good, but the results are coming negatively. So we need to care, but great deal of care if they could handle because they are not handling a great deal of care. Morning 9 o'clock to afternoon 2 o'clock continuously because they on sitting on the front of screen, there is no human interface. How can the people really understand? And a small kid of 6, 7 years studying in class 1 or class 2, and he was to sit in front of the laptop or an iPhone or iPad, and how he can concentrate because there is no facial or face-to-face interaction that is lacking, and that's creating a big problem for the kids and the parents and even doctors also. Doctors are unable to treat such people, what to do, what kind of treatment can be given. They need a lot of counseling. And the doctors are, one of the Bangalore doctor has suggested that this should be immediately cancelled because in the situation of pandemic, if you are forcing people to study and using the WhatsApp, social media, they are giving homeworks also. So this stress and mental health to be maintained properly. Work-life balance, yes, your personal life, and if your official life, your office life should be balanced properly. Then your family health also important. There are old age people in your home, middle-aged people in your home, having different ailments also. They need to be given proper care, otherwise there will be a big problem. And productivity, social isolation, and visibility of their employer. So these are few areas, issues which are there, we need to take care of actually. Now, continuation of that same thing, employees have to adapt new ways, managing issues, how to manage. Employees have to adapt a new ways of working in no time. Business leaders have to find ways to ensure safety of their employees. Then IC and HR teams. IC means that's called information communication teams, and HR teams are developing new ways of communicating with remote teams. Yes, because of ICT, information communication technology, and HR teams are developing new ways of communicating with the remote teams, and they are trying to overcome the problem or at least safeguarding the people from this pandemic. And career, that's what I try to give some tips how to overcome this crisis. Create coronavirus crisis management plan, appoint designated crisis management team, keep employees informed with accurate and updated information, give your employees useful advice and keep them connected. Consider implementing remote work. If you haven't implemented it already, please consider implementing remote work plan because the people who are in the, what type of plans you have and implement it thoroughly with great deal of care. Create an environment that fosters online collaboration. Answer all your employees' questions. So do not get them panic. You do not become panic. You don't make your people panic. Be cool, be calm. And because in pandemic, everybody, small to elder people, older people, all are worried now because this virus such that people are in a dilemma. Something unimaginable panic has started in everywhere, look at corner. Stop the spread of misinformation in the workplace. Rumors are coming up. Of course, rumors are dangerous for the people. It creates, depression. It creates, different hypertension. All the, ailments start. So, I request to all the participants that if you are there, people in your, on and around, you request them or maybe have that. Don't spread unnecessarily misinformation or rumors at workplaces because people may lose their job If it is a safer place, they are doing sincerely, relaxedly, suddenly creating rumor will create them panic and they may not continue and they may lose their jobs. Then use proper employee communication tools, define central internal communications channel, give special attention to your non-white employees. See, those who cannot be reached through white. So what can be done? Some special attention can be given to them because they are not aware. Because many people are having no connectivity. They do not have the knowledge of using the online or other tools. So be connected, be patient, be humble with them, and update your corporate travel policy. Those who are corporate level people, kindly you see travel policy to be updated, to be safe, and you have to be very safe. Perform routine environmental cleaning. Update employees' contact number and contact in case any emergency occur. We can serve them. That's the reason employees' contact numbers and emergency contacts must be updated so that you can immediately reach to them by any means. And finally, respect self-isolation guidelines and stay in touch with your self-isolated employees. Evaluate your coronavirus crisis management plan. Yes, time and again to examine it and invest. Is there a need to be add something to that management plan? You add it. If something to be followed, you follow it so that you can be safe at your place wherever you are. Thank you so much for patiently listening to this presentation. Thank you for participants and thank you organizers.
म्यूट कर दीजिए
मेरा Hello? 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 Hello?
म्यूट करें शायद आप देख लो
गेट्स वाले म्यूट करके
अच्छा मतलब करें
कितने पार्टिसिपेंट है
यूट्यूब में 350 है और जूम में 500 रहते तो 800 तो कम से कम
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. I think I finished in time, or is it okay? Hello? Hello? Please.
Sir, are you able to hear me, sir?
Yeah. I'm able to hear.
There is some. We'll continue with the question and answer session, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
have you taken the questions through chat box?
Yes, I said, okay. Sir, there is one question, sir, by Abdul Rahman Chaudhary. Sir, he is asking that how to manage different people in organizations. How to manage different people in organizations.
How to manage different in organization?
Different people in organizations.
Okay. What is his background? The gentleman who is asking the question.
So he is a research scholar, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
How to manage
Different
people in the
organization.
organization. See, you need to, when you are grooming other people, when you are talking to people, you see what kind of people are. That's what modern approach says, that you have to be with the people's behavior. If you are good enough at behavioral sciences, if you are good having not more but say small little knowledge of psychology, you can understand by seeing their observation what kind of nature of people are with you. If they are of a different nature, you have to call them individually and talk to them. If he is so very collaborative, he is very cooperative, then you can talk to them in a group and give them asking them what is their problem actually, and listening very patiently and give them that reasonable solution for the problem, the kind of problem they are passing through, and then giving them suggestion that this is the solution for your problem, and then nothing, it's not a big task to handle many people. Only thing that you need to understand what is his or her or the people problem, and then answer accordingly, which convinces them. Not inconceivable answer, convincible answer. Because you can easily convince people, and thing is that if you can understand his question, because answers are always available, but need to understand questions properly for the people to manage them. I think I have given his answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer, and hope he has received proper information about his question. So next question is, sir, from Nirmala Mysore. She is asking that
Okay.
management concepts will be helpful for the present industry to sustain in this pandemic situation. I repeat
Yes.
that. How management concepts will be helpful for the present industry to sustain in this pandemic situation?
See, management concepts are universal. These are only needs to be adjusted. These are needs to be adjusted according to the situation. Now we are passing through a pandemic situation. You cannot be rigid. You cannot be like a ringmaster. You have to be very polite. You have to be change your strategy of dealing with the people. See, as we are working from home, many people working, IT people are working from home. They are being managed properly, and same way the amount of work is same, the amount of salary is being in the same. The only thing is that same management concepts are same, they cannot be changed. But only thing is that according to the situation, we need to adopt it, we need to use it, and that will be helpful. They cannot be changed because, of course, that's in the sense that management science is flexible science, it's a behavioral science, it's a social science. That's the difference between the management sciences and the pure science is that in pure sciences we deal with in the laboratories in the closed room environment, whereas our management science we deal with the man. That's first three words: MAN, management, man of all age group, management meant for all age group. So in this case, people have to be handled with care. They are very delicate. In this situation, pandemic situation, people are becoming more, cautious. You cannot be very rude with them. You take work, they readily work with them, provided if you are having the technique of grabbing the work from them. That's the only technique. The concepts will remain same. Only thing, you need to be very flexible enough. I hope I give the answer. Maybe madam satisfied. Otherwise, if further clarification, I will give.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is one question from Rajashekar.
Okay.
Sir is asking that how COVID-19 impact on the part and the role of management.
How COVID-19?
COVID-19 impact on the part and role of management.
Yes, COVID-19, from normal to a new normal. From normal to new normal conditions come. All the managements of enterprises, whether small or a big company like Reliance, Tata, and Ambuja, big people, they have not changed basic structure of the management. Only thing that they have changed themselves. That's what the situation is called new normal. From normal to new normal, what and how they are blending these situations in such a manner that people won't get panic. People do contribute to the organizational development. Organizations are running, few manufacturing concerns are closed, but many of the organizations start functioning. People who have come, they have returned to the work, they start doing work. The reason is that they created such a situation during pandemic that the management is not very hard, they are very flexible, and their safety has been ensured, thereby things are being favorable. Okay, it's clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, another question, sir. This is from Sujit Mondal. He is asking that how does COVID-19 interrupt the corporate sustainability and corporate social responsibility? Sir, I repeat, sir. How does COVID-19 interrupt the corporate sustainability and corporate social responsibility?
It's very obvious that sustainability factor, it is being sustaining, nothing wrong, and it has not affected much. But only thing is that slightly because of the situation, people, the corporates are getting problem with the technical people, technical at lower level employees. But as far as social responsibility is concerned, they have become more generous now. They have become more generous. They are coming forward for the well-being of the society, for the well-being of the Indian people who are suffering from this, and they are giving their best for the betterment for the healthier nation's country. And as far as strategy is concerned, there's no big change in the strategy. They are continuing the strategy, but slightly with softness. With softness, I said no. They're using the behavioral part of it, and they are using their what you call softness in their approach.
Okay, sir. Sir, this is one question, sir. That is from Dr. Arif. Do this
Please.
pandemic may lead to get change in the relationship between employer and employee?
No, not at all. If at all, I told you no. If at all, the management is really a professional manager, he will be more humanly. I said, good human relations is the essence of successful management and enterprises or the management of an organization. If the manager is something unprofessional, then his relation will get affected. As far as professional business is concerned, professional managers concerned, they further improve because they will human touch will be there. They will become more humanly with their subordinates, employees, and they will be trying to give their best to their employees' well-being and irrespective of work. Also, some of the in the lockdown also, the government paid the half salaries or 70% salary, something welfare of, because India being a welfare state, it is the binding duty of the every corporate, non-corporate, that they should take care of their people, the welfare of people, and hence there cannot be a serious impact on the employee-employer relationship.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind questions. And finally, on behalf of our Gates Institute of Technology, on behalf of Department of Management Studies, and on my own personal behalf, on behalf of all the participants throughout the country, I thank you, sir, for giving this session and for answering answers. And sir is a professor from Department of Management Studies and Commerce. So he is having a vast experience, and he has given much information on the handling of sustainable business in this COVID situation. Successful for success of business. So here, I would like to thank you for your valuable inputs and for your valuable time.
My pleasure.
So they are participants from Coimbatore, Ujjain, and they are from even people are from Jammu and Kashmir, and here from Sage University, Indore, and Vikram University. The participants are from throughout the country, and hope that you have provided much inputs to these people and answered the questions. I really apologize for the inconvenience in the beginning, because due to bad atmosphere and this environmental conditions, the signals are weak, and because of which the introductory part is interrupted. So now, as a final note, I thank you, all the participants, and especially the resource person, Professor Badiuddin Ahmed sir, for being here. Okay, sir, we are 1, 2, 3. This environmental conditions, the signals are weak, and because of which the introductory part is interrupted. So now, as a final note, thank you, especially the resource person, Professor Badiuddin sir, for being here. Okay, sir, we are 1, 2,
डिले हो क्या था इसमें, ये सबसे रिजेक्ट आया।
मैं लीव सर, हेलो, हो गया सर, लीव।
हाँ, बंद कर